Hi, my name is Theodore Cottingham at theodorcottingham.com. And I run a school, I offer you creation again in the psyche of you, the soul, the spirit, the being, the intelligentsia, the existence of the formation of Christ, the offspring of God to be no more separate. But what then was God? What was God before he became a man? What was God, or was God man? Like it's always been represented to so many of us. Oh my. Maybe there's more to the story. Maybe there's more than the affliction that we have afflicted each other with. A continuum of suffering, the lineage of Satan. What story? What if there's more to the story? My name is, there is a school for you now who want to be Jesus not, but be the Christ in your shoes, women, birthing the new birth that you need not the seed of man. In fact, man cannot conceive this in its flesh because it's not molecular. This is not the spirit of the school. This is the school of the spirit. TheodoreCottingham.com. I've changed its name many times as I have channeled like this for over 20 years. Channeled what? An energy. An energy? A presence. A spirit. A thought. A set of words. A something. No matter what you call it. I've channeled something from another world that has taught me that I'm not limited to man. I am not limited to this flesh appearing to be in a man's body, the body of a male, a gendered species, one of a hindered humanity who hinders itself and holds on to cleats, which forms entanglement in words and energy, emotions. My name is Theodore Love. Loving you. Enough to be you. Enough to tell you, share with you, there is a new beginning of the Spirit. Of God, not a male of. God, the human spirit, not limited to a male, a soul, a regime, a regeneration of suffering. Generation after generation. No, there's a new beginning now, folks, where the Spirit of God is upon me. Not, but you. The Spirit of God as a woman. The Spirit of God as a woman birthing women now shall behold the God who is them, the feminine divine, no longer subject to the definition of being a complement to the divine masculine. Or does that even exist? Or is that how we became human in flesh, limited to planet Earth? I love you. I don't plan to talk long this time. I make recordings like this almost every day. TheodoreCottingham.com is my website. And I invite you to come to my website to read, not to look, but to engage. I ask you to begin to engage with that person in your mirror. When you brush your teeth, comb your hair, put on your makeup or take it off or change clothes, I'm asking you to engage with something more than you've ever imagined that you could. More than you imagined you had the ability to hear, see, feel, become the breast of the Spirit, the womb of God, not being controlled by a male again, no longer suffering under the patriarchy, the misogyny of hate and brutality, the suffering. I've taught much about the difference between God and God, because so many people among the earth subscribe to different ideologies that portray God, the supreme force of all creation, the original originator of all things good, bad, and ugly. Blood, sweat, and tears. Who put you in the garden to till the earth? Who told you to populate the earth, bring forth children? There's another way to live, and you have the ability to know who you are with an identity of faith, never again, but the factual circumstances of you connecting with you, the original you, the holy you, the source of the source before God became male. Before God became demanding, punishing. Oh, what does the Christian Bible say? It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. Let me tell you, it's not anything fearful to fall into the hands of unconditional love, the nurturer. But the hands of the destroyer will mold you according to his hands, baby. But we are no longer babies in the hands of clay. We are the temple not made with hands. And we begin to understand the worship of God was all a contrived method of control. Whether you think so or not. Your thought won't change the truth. So what is the truth? Just because 3 billion people on earth, maybe everybody on earth believes there's a God that's a male, that's a him, that worships a him on a throne, and that he, and that it's inevitable for you to die, and then he will judge you, and you will stand before him, and you will cast your crowns, if you make it into his promised land, that you throw your crowns down at his feet. No, my friend, there's more to the story. And the gospel according to man, to worship man through a patriarchy, and worship a male God, and tell you that your origin is from man through man, that God, some supreme force, took a rib from Adam and made the feminine. You see, you don't have to take my words for it. And I don't think I've ever asked you in over 20 years of channeling to take my words for it. I've asked you to see a better story, a better covenant. I've asked you to consider, like what the narrative says of Mary. When the angel came and said, Mary, you're going to conceive a child. She didn't say, get the hell out of here, Satan. She didn't respond with, that's impossible. That's ludicrous. That's blasphemy. She said, how can these things be? She was willing. There was a willingness in Mary's heart to conceive, to consider. You see, there's a willingness to consider before the conception of the seed of Christ in you that is you, in your womb, the Christ psyche of one, never more separate again. You bear the seed of you. You are controlling it, not you're creating it. And there's a huge, immense difference. It's not according to the seed of man, it's according to the seed of love that I define. Not human love, not soulish love, not controlled love, not love that forces, whether spoken or not, a quid pro quo. I'm talking about unconditional love, where you become it. You become it in your genes, the genetic of Christ. The genetic of the formation of the wounds no longer suffered by man, and the brutality of alpha males and a psyche of a psychology of the heavens that control is by men and angels, a hierarchy. There's more to the story, and you are not limited to your wounding earth. Jesus said, if you believe in me, you will do the things that I do. But patriarchy comes along, and patriarchy emasculates almost all of the verses that give indication that you have power that you never knew that you had, because they want to control it. And so they make definitions. They make definitions that they can control and enforce. They talk about a fivefold ministry and being ordained. And they're always creating separation. Men are always, almost all of them are always creating separation. Me from thee, me from you, us, them. Creating the lepers, creating the cast out, creating the ignorant, creating the unafraid no more, because the unafraid will rise now in human flesh, who do non-tormenting things like creating love everywhere, and control will go crazy. When control can't control control, it's out. It's out of power. It's out of power. When you want power, you come inside, not, but when you're ready to create, the creator, that's you, the feminine divine. You need not the seed of man. It doesn't work that way. Men are no longer raping women on planet Earth. And misogyny will cease, because women won't be pregnant with the word of, I am male again. Women are becoming pregnant, not with sperm, and not with a psyche or a psychology or the seed. What is the seed? What did Jesus say? in the parable. The fig tree, the word, is the seed. The word of what? The word of knowledge, the word of wisdom, the words of understanding, the words that you conceive within you, the essence of your womb that is not molecular, but spirit. The essence of energy itself, the life force, not, but the life source of the source of unconditional love before God was ever male. So I have a school, the school of me, the school of Theodore. Whether I call it the school of God, whether I call it the school of the new covenant, the school of light, love, joy, and peace, it's a school of me to share with you that we are no longer led by love that condemns us to a judgment, condemns us to separation, condemns us to serve man or serve a male God. Patriarchy will no longer have influence, power over us. You see, I'm a man, or am I a woman appearing as one? One what? One I am. I am me. How did Jesus walk through them? Phrase, walk through them. He walked through them. Who? The Pharisees, Sadducees, all the religiousites. There were probably some of your denomination there. Some of your pastors and preachers and writers and commentarians, and those who wear robes and rings and want you to bow down before them to worship their God. I say unto you, have no God before you. This is not about the elevation of hubris, of arrogance, belligerence. It's anything but. You lay down all the aspect of your power to blame someone else for anything. Blame is not part of the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God, female. The divine feminine is arising, and no one will stop it. This message is out. I speak to you. I speak into my little phone. I'm recording YouTube. But this message of this heart goes all over the earth now and impregnates the lovers to all be one. One what? One flesh, one consciousness, my friend. The psyche, no matter whether you call it your soul, your spirit, your energy, no matter what you call it. I love you. And friend, love loves love. When you begin to love more than you love man, more than you love your family, more than you love the flesh, more than you love this creation of you, are you really you in that creation of you? Are you really you playing the role of a woman? Are you really you playing the role of a man? Or are you a God just hoping for some crumbs from the rich man's table to pay your light bill? I'm a man. I'm a woman. I was a man. But I was a man in spirit. I was a man in physiology, flesh. I still am, some would say. But my feminine divine has risen, where I no longer yield it to something else, someone else, nor subject myself to a divine coordinator, a creator, that says women shall be silent in the church. Oh, there's no church that will hold the divine feminine, because the feminine divine is arising, and the feminine divine is not a complement to the divine masculine. You see, the divine masculine has always emasculated the power of women and put women under men because of the godlike story, a God story, a book, a religion. But my friend, we are no longer subject to religion. We're no longer subject to the psyche of man who wants to dominate us and use us to populate the earth, bear their children, bleed each month. I tell you, it's all changed. And you will you into the purpose of no other again if you're willing to bear the child that's you. The child, you see, the Christ child. The story of the Christ child is about you, in you, birthing the real you, not as something separate, not as someone powerless, but someone who begins to understand the power of any oath that you have ever taken. You can rescind. You had the power to make it. You can rescind it. You can revoke it. You can change what you signed up for. You can change because you have the power of life and death in your tongue. The power of life and death. Didn't Jesus say, if you believe in me, you will never die? Oh, you can find it. And then you will find all sorts of reasons why it means something other than what it says. Just like religion always portrays everything in the light of what it can control. But you can't control a human love, or can you? Or are you no longer be under the control of human love or a God love that keeps you in human form? What's happening to the mind of women everywhere? The creation of freedom. And if you experience freedom, you create it. You will no longer eat the fruit of the tree of being afraid, fearful, under the dominion of a male God, or a male at all. Because the seed was inside you all the time. Of what? Life itself. To reproduce life itself without any sperm, without any molecular action. The seed of the Christ. The Christ, the seed, the living word. That which has no form or can form any form. Not afraid of form. No longer afraid of the lion in the street. Woman, are you becoming no longer afraid of the lion's den? The fiery furnace. And what am I alluding to? Of course, I allude many times to the great allegory. That's the name I have for the Christian Bible. I am not a Christian. Though I was many years, I was a devout and disciplined disciple. When I was about 25, I became desperate. I wanted to know God. I was I was not willing just to know about God. Hope I was right and then die. And so many times, thousands, zillions maybe, I said, I want to know you. I want to walk with you. I want to know you. I didn't have even the thought back then of, I want to walk in your shoes. I never had the thought that love would come to me as love would come through me. Nobody taught me to channel when I was growing up or in any religion, denomination, charismatic, glossolalia tongues and talk about the Spirit and the Holy Spirit. And you can channel direct love. You can channel directly unconditional love if you so choose. And if you don't know what you're doing and you don't choose right, you'll channel anything. You'll channel logic, rationale, and all the stuff that you've been programmed to channel. But the DNA of flesh will no longer harbor us to be in its grasp. The DNA of words, the DNA of molecules, the protons, electrons, neutrons, the physiological, electrochemical responses, and everything that goes on in our essence will no longer be magnetized by grace that wants a sovereign other to smile upon us with favor, to grant its children through us. We change now. We are not powerless. Whether we're men or angels, no, women, the divine feminine. But you see, this is not about flesh, but it's not limited to the idea of flesh. It's more encompassing. No one can be defeated who chooses to love love and to bear love's child in the form of them with a womb in their consciousness, of their consciousness, of the womb of their essence of spirit, non-molecular, the infinite unlimited. And the infinite unlimited will teach you directly. So you don't need to just take my words because I'm sharing with you something that may or may not, maybe be appealing. I'm sharing you love of the first degree. Hi, Lindsay. There's so much more to the story if you will engage as the creator. Are you willing to engage as the creator of you? No longer abdicating your power, your right, your privilege, and say, oh, God made me this way, or God made me male or female, or God made me this, that, or the other. God, 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 God. My friend, grow up. Because we are members of the cosmos who are not afraid of each other. And we are becoming no longer afraid of ET. Aliens, people that don't look like us, things, animals, giants in the land. Oh, there's giants in the promised land? Oh, we're like grasshoppers in their sight. The aliens, the ET, the ideologies that control us, the impermeable veil. No, there's no veil that's impermeable to you if you will love. And the power of love does not issue blame and does not condemn. There's no hell for you. There's no hell. Heaven? Oh, we've been taught it's a place of perfect divine rest that we get to after we die. No, my friend, heaven is in you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. Are you willing to see it? Are you willing to unlock it? Are you willing to go there? Are you willing to flow there is the question. Are you willing to flow? Are you willing to experience the new and living, everlasting, eternal covenant, the covenant that replaces all other covenants, the Abrahamic covenant? Or are you willing to be the Abraham in the story of Abraham? A moon worshiper, a God worshiper, a he. God is a he worshiper. Within what unconditional love is, says to you, come and I will show you another land. And Abraham said, where is it? I will show you as you go. The kingdom of heaven is within you. And I'll show you how to get there as you go. If you're not willing to get up out of your pew, get up out of your chair, and do things you've never done, you'll never see the promised land. Because you wear the forked tongue no more. If you're willing to conceive the truth tangibly in your form, it's not truth you learn to know that will set you free. It's truth, if you will, where you begin to conceive the tangible form and become pregnant with the truth of you. That you are the creator of you. And you're willing to take responsibility for it. You're willing to take responsibility for your learning. And you want some perfectly designed course to teach you. I will teach you, but it's not like man teaches you. I will teach you, but it's not like you expect. I will teach you from the inside of you as you birth me. I will teach you as you birth the school that you are entering to go through to come out as you, the real you. The real you, whether you wear a dress, whether you wear mini skirts, mini shorts, braid your hair, whether people think you're a fool, a whore, a harlot. Well, gosh, the whores and harlots are going to enter the kingdom of God before all the religious. Because it wasn't about sex. It wasn't about gender. This is about love. This is about love. Enormous love, evocative love, erotic love, beyond what the flesh can imagine. Because it's not just the psyche as we envision it or define it, but it's the energy, no longer of Satan, Satan the accuser of the brethren, Satan the robber, Satan the imposter, the imposer, Satan who simply wants to give you a different identity. Satanic ideology that even Satan exists. When you love, you're willing to conceive it. When you begin to conceive perfect love will teach you from the inside. And this is what this school is about. The school of me, the school of Theodore. The school of the new and living everlasting covenant. That when you see, hear me, that when you see, it's the school of you. Within you, the creator of you, communicating as such again for you to complete the creation of the seed in you, not your belly, but your mind, your essence, your energy, to create the Christ living and adorned by you in your mirror. You're the one. Look for no other. Wait for no other. You, woman, no matter how deformed you think your body is, or how ugly you think you are in the eyes of someone else, or how beautiful, or how affluent. Let not your affluence or your poverty or the opinions of this flesh race reign in you. Let there be peace this day. Pardon me. And let not your mortal flesh overrun your kingdom. That kingdom that knows no end. That kingdom of divine perfection. That kingdom that creates you. Not as just the creation, but the creator. The creator and its creation are one. But we've been severed in our understanding, our religion, our neurons for thousands of years. But that's ending, and there's a new beginning now. And it won't be of church in church, sitting on a pew, worshiping a God that's a male to come be the Messiah and set up his kingdom. I will tell you, the kingdom of women whose light is the Lord is no more controlling any of us, because we're becoming God again. What is a God? Someone not subject to the flesh? Somebody like Jesus who can do miracles? Jesus who wears lipstick? Jesus in a skirt? Oh my God, a mini skirt, a micro skirt. She's naked. Oh, so what was that idea about Isaiah? God telling Isaiah to go naked, butt naked, for 3 whole years? There's so much more to the story, my friend. Quit being satisfied with such a shallow understanding of who we are. Wade out into the water. Wade out into the water. The water of what? The water of the unknown. The water of the Red Sea. I didn't say it would be easy. I didn't say it would be fun. Because when you begin to lay down and no longer hold on to your refuge, your home, when you begin to lay down the idea that you no longer need to live in your flesh, when you begin to lay down all of the values that we have taught, we have been taught, and we've taught each other, and all the definitions, and you begin to redefinitionalize the Christ mind, the Christ spirit, the Christ consciousness, you may begin to understand that the consciousness of Christ is not limited to our frequency, our vibration, our energy, our consciousness. You begin, if you're willing, to learn what it was like before the Tower of Babel. You learn before millions were inculcated with the inferior, with the imposter, with the idea of glossolalia, the idea of speaking things we didn't know in terms that we don't understand, that need some interpretation. My friend, love speaks very intelligibly. And the Holy Spirit of you will commune with you in your holy place, the holiest of all, your womb. And the men who don't have a womb create one if they're willing. To see, feel, hear, become, not separate from the divine feminine. The divine feminine is no longer going to be defined as the other side, the yin yang, the complement of a divine masculine, because the feminine divine is coming about, the feminine divine arising, the feminine God. Or why do you have to put it in that context or make it wear that label? To subjugate something else. I love you, and I've said much. And I always do, often do, sometimes do. Set free this moment. The living God in you, no more of terror, no more of judgment, no more of comparison and condemnation. Set free God in you. That's real, that's unconditional. That says unto you, I will never leave you or forsake you, even if you make your bed in hell. I will be there. How can that be? Because there's no separation. Wherever you are, God is. That's unconditional love. That's not male love. That's not male with the conditions of a male God, conjuring up condemnation, comparison, body shaming. Oh, you know how I can say, I love you to every person on earth? Because I know at some point, every one of us were part of the original source of the original source. The source that had no origin as we think of it and has no beginning and no end, except what we create in the mindage, the operation of the mind, the essence of who we think we are. My friend, if you care to communicate with me, my name is TheodoreCottingham.com, and my email is Theodore Eureka. Theodore Eureka at gmail.com. And I have a contact form on my website. You can find it. And in fact, you can search my heart. My naked heart. My heart bleeds no more. I'm not the wounded looking for the healer. I've become the healer. The healer of words who heal me. I've become the energy of creation to create the energy, to create me again with the identity of perfect love. And I'm a woman. And I nurture love. And I look like a man or dress like a woman. Or do I do both and at the same time? Do I have a beard? Do I wear lipstick? Do I have earrings? And are you going to condemn me just because I don't meet your standard? It's not about gay straight. It's not about gender. And it's not about the story that almost all of us have been taught. It's about the kingdom within you, the Christ within, because you are the Christ if you will be it. I know that the origin of what we call life itself has been brutalized, wounded, plunged into suffering, and used on an assembly line throughout the planets to create energy for its being. But I am not that. And I rule the heavens not. I create me. Every me will create themselves and suffering no more and become no longer limited to the flesh, having conceived the word of freedom within them for each other. And if you're not willing to create freedom for each other, the woman beside you, the woman in bed, the woman who hates you, your ex, those who would slit your throat for a dime, rise above that now. I gave you Jesus the Pattern book. Revelations over 10 years. Revelations. It's worth, what's it worth? Thousands of dollars, every copy? Is it worth more than gold? To come out of the psyche that arranges you to be limited to it, underneath another person, underneath a God? What are you doing with your money? Your rage, your sin, your time, your essence. Are you willing to create you again? When I teach, when I share like this, I appreciate your comments. But I'll tell you that I see the comments on the screen, and they are so very, very tiny. Most of them I can't read and certainly allow the flow of what I'm sharing to continue. And I appreciate your choice to communicate. And that's why, again, I ask you, communicate. TheodoreCottingham.com. TheodoreEureka@gmail. You can write me, and I may answer you. But I answer you sometimes different than you think. Because over these years, what I found is most often, if people do inquire and ask me specific questions and all sorts of things, usually the answer just suddenly comes out in my flow of teaching the next day, sometimes a week later. But what is our motive? What is your motive? I'm asking you to invite freedom into you, to be you, the freedomer, who gives you freedom now. To curse, to create, where you're no longer harboring guilt, sin, or shame. You're no longer living your life to create a bunch of followers on YouTube or any social media or be accepted. By your community. I'm asking you to create one. Create your community, create your people, create the connections that create you with you in these words that you engage in. You see, that's why I'm sharing with you, to please not just listen to these words, but to become them, to engage with them, to consider. Mary, do you hear me? Will you consider? Will you engage? Will you wrestle with the angel? Will you engage? You see, there is a process to creation. And I'm speaking to you, women, and to men who will become women in spirit, no matter what you dress like, where you begin to nurture the real you. You begin to embrace a value system of unconditional love, being taught from within you, from within inside you, not by a voice, but by the Spirit of one, where you emit the words that you are feeling, that you are creating, where you begin to channel like this, to experience an education system of one. You begin in your school of one. You begin to enjoy the table of one, where you buy a microphone and you record and make videos like this, where you begin a share group, where you begin a dinner club, a book club, where you study the Bible of Christ. You didn't know there was one? The Bible of Christ. Yes, behold the Bible of Christ. Not a Christian one, but it's what I've channeled. The foundation of all that I do, the foundation of who I am. You can engage in. The Bible of Christ is word searchable. TheodoreCottingham.com. The Bible of Christ. It's the foundation for this school. It's the foundation for my life or my existence. It's the foundation for the divine feminine coming into being, the feminine divine. And that's all of you who will say yes and be the creator who creates you again and birth you into the living nomenclature, the living diction and grammar, the living life of the essence of the one, no longer limited by failure, nor protons, electrons, or neutrons. Let us lay aside the basic principles of this world and not just speak about salvation or even the resurrection, but let us become creators, setting each other free. The women do now all over this world of every nation, tribe, and tongue. I haven't said I'm begging in years and years. I beg you to recognize love that is unconditional. Many people may come to you that are sincere with a motive of purity, no harm, that look nothing like you, dress nothing like you, don't sound like you, haven't been a part of your world. Don't forsake them. Please don't forsake them. Don't boot them out. Be not afraid. Be who you really are. Let the weak say, I am strong. And I am no longer subject to the misogyny of men, the brutality of any male religion or hierarchy. Love each other. Be tender. Be tender. Be sensitive. Learn to be articulate in love. And be discerning. Because there are many people out there who in their present state simply love to crush people. Understand the difference. There's no condemnation in perfect love. Anybody with any threat, they don't know what I'm telling you, sharing with you, what I espouse, and how that I am a woman and a man at the same time, and how love is coming forth in the unlimited form of Jesus the Christ, in the form of you, who will be it. I have my Jesus the Pattern book somewhere around here, but you can buy an EPUB copy, TheodoreCottingham.com, and I plan to print some more soon. I love you, and that's it for now. I'm going to play pickleball. I have a seminar, I think, soon. I think. I had a number of seminars and conferences in Tulsa years ago after I began channeling. But I may have one now that this message is expanding. Uncontrollably expanding, because it brings freedom. Freedom from the curse of the law. Freedom from the curse of ignorance. Freedom from the curse of control. I'm just a simple, common guy in Eureka Springs. I'm 74 years old. I share with you these things, my heart, my living, my love. If you are interested in coming to a seminar in Eureka Springs, let me know. I've told you so many times how to contact me. Theodore Eureka at gmail.com. Or you can invite me to your city or your group or your organization. I don't know. I'm not much on traveling. I'm enjoying being me in my little town. And I invite you here sometime soon for a seminar, maybe. I want you to be the creator. I shall not want. I desire. I invite you to create you again as the Christ who is you. Not in you as a separate being. No longer creating the separation, my friend. Create us all as one. I go now. Deliver you from all evil and harm, all of the separation, the mouth of saints, the mouth of sinners, all the mouths that want to tell you their answer and be yours. Be conclusive? No. Be the creator of the flow and learn to flow like this, where you make videos in your course, where you create courses. No longer being ashamed. No longer trying to rightly divide the word of truth for somebody else. Because there is no other judge of you but you. Thank you for sharing. Write me. You can write me at Box 34 in Eureka Springs. You can contribute. You can help. You can offerings and donate. You can be led by love, not by law, and not by just circumstances. Be led by what you feel, feelings, emotions, no longer tormented by the psyche of the soul. Learn to become no longer led by the energy that drives you, but learn to be led to be the spirit of not him who is, but she, the divine feminine. The school of Theodore, creating the school of you, your name, the school of grace, the school of Lindsay, the school of light, Ralph, Betty, Joe. Learning to love is a leadership process. The first one in your school is you. You learning to lead you. Learning leadership from the within. The effervescent. The unlimited infinite is your field. The unlimited infinite. Be the cosmic Christian not, but the creator Christ who creates it, who looks like you. This is my message. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for taking time to write me. Thank you for making notes to engage in the creation process that brings this forth in the living you. Between your ears, out of your mouth, shall flow the rivers of living water that never run dry. See you, love. Good day. Share these words. Tell others about me, the school, this channel, and what you're doing, what you're willing to do, what you're learning. Share and pray for no one else. Live the life that you were designed to live, no more. Live the life that you create and free each other to do also. TheodoreCottingham.com. Good day.